What's up? It is December 1st today. It's getting chilly out here. The leaves have fallen. I don't have a whole lot of updates for you guys other than we are going to winterize the camper today. I did winterize the camper last year by myself and just didn't make a vlog about it. So today I'm gonna make a vlog about it. I'm gonna skip one of the steps because we haven't used the camper at all since we winterized it last time. We probably ran some water through the pipes one time. So it should be super simple. This is a really simple, easy way to winterize your camper by yourself, on your own, DIY. So stay tuned. We're gonna get working on that. Like I said, not a whole lot of updates for y'all in this vlog. Since the last time we've talked, not a whole lot has happened. Still saving up some money, working on a plan for the home site here, working on a plan for the Airbnb, and then also we're also just, you know, it's tax season coming up, so we're planning out our taxes and getting all that straightened out. One update for the land and for tax purposes is that we did apply for a farm number so that we could kind of get like a tax write-off on the land for farmland. It's 6 point, I think our plot of land is 6.3 something acres. It has to be at least 5 acres to be considered agricultural. So we are doing that this year, but it's not going to be for this tax season, maybe next tax season. So that's pretty much all I have to update you guys. We did have one camper to stay at our tent site down at the front of the homestead, and that went well. So that's pretty exciting. If you guys want to stay at the tent site, now is like a perfect time to stay. It is nice and cool. It's a little chilly, but you know, that's what makes camping fun. Campfires, that's how you warm up. So without further ado, let's get to winterizing the camper. Let me explain what we're gonna do here. So when we talk about winterizing your camper, what we're basically simply talking about is ridding all of your water lines of any water fluid that's in there right now and basically filling them with RV/marine antifreeze. And it's specifically for RVs and marine because it is safe for potable water plumbing systems. So this is what we use. I just got this from Walmart. Literally spent 10 bucks on 2 of them. 2 gallons should be enough for my camper. You can kind of look in your booklet to see like how many gallons it would take to winterize your camper. So yeah, this is super simple. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna get rid of all of the water that is in all the lines. So the first thing that I do is I will go down here at the bottom of my camper and I'm gonna open up the freshwater tank to see if there's anything left in there. So at the bottom of my camper, I have my low lines here, and then this one over here is my freshwater tank. So this is the low line for that. So we'll go ahead and open it and see if there's any water left in there, which I don't think there is. Okay, I was wrong. So we'll get all of that water out there, let that drain for a minute until it stops draining. There shouldn't be a whole lot in there. So yeah, we'll let it drip for a second. We'll just keep it open, and then we'll go and we'll let the water out of all of the other pipes. So now that the freshwater tank is empty, I let it drip for a few minutes to make sure all of the water was out of there. Next, we're gonna go to our faucets, sinks, toilets, and let all the water out of those lines. So basically, I'm gonna go turn on my water pump that is connected to the freshwater tank to pull water from the freshwater tank to my lines. And that's gonna basically make sure that there's nothing left in the freshwater tank and there's nothing left in our lines. I'm gonna turn on our water pump. You can hear it activated. We're gonna start with the kitchen sink. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. And then all of this water is getting drained into our black and gray tanks. You basically want to let it go until there's just air coming out of it. Now we're going to do the toilets. Let that thing run for a minute. The bathroom sink. We'll start with the hot and then the cold. Last one is the shower. So there shouldn't be too much water left. We'll just let this drip for a couple minutes. So far, we have emptied the fresh water tank and we've opened all the plumbing fixtures to make sure there's no more water in the plumbing fixtures. The next thing that we have to do is go to our low lines underneath the camper, the ones that are right next to the fresh water tank line, and open those up to make sure that there's nothing left in all of the plumbing fixture lines. So you can see we got a cold and a hot behind it. So we just open up both of those to make sure there's no more water. You can see that there's nothing really coming out, just a tiny, tiny bit. So we'll let those drip for a minute and then we'll move on to our next thing. So I was telling you guys that we actually skipped a step that we did last year, but that we're not doing this year. So an extra step that you can do is you can connect a air compressor to your water connection, and you can actually blow out all of the lines to make sure that there's no more water in the lines. Personally, I don't think it's as important here in the South, like where we don't get like freezes for weeks and months at a time. So I'm not going to do that, mainly because my air compressor is down right now. It's in the Forerunner and it's not working at the moment. So we're not going to do that today, but an extra step would be to get a pressure gauge, connect it to your water connection, connect it to a air compressor, and then you would blow out all of your lines. So just like we went in there and opened up each plumbing fixture, you would do the same thing again, but with the pressure of the air compressor pressure behind it. And I'll show you over here where you would hook that up at. On the left side here, this is our fresh water connection. So this is where you just put, like you would hook up your hose and just like put water in there so that you have a tank full of water just in case you were off grid. This here is your city water connection. This is where you hook up water if you're staying at like an RV park or you're at a campsite. So you would hook your air compressor up to that, and you would go in there and open up each plumbing fixture and blow out each line to make sure that there's not one drop left. So if you see here, our fresh water tank is empty. Our black tank says it's empty, but there is a little bit in there, and that also could be because the sensor kind of gets covered up with all the poo. And then your gray tank says it's empty as well, or low. These could also mean low or empty. So the last thing that we need to do is to empty those two tanks to make sure that there's nothing left in those. I store my honey pot underneath the camper all year long, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and empty the black and gray tanks into that, and then that will be the last thing that we have to do to rid the camper of all the liquid and fluid that is in the lines and the tanks. Alright, the tanks are empty. Make sure you guys wear gloves when you empty your gray and black tanks. That is disgusting. So we have our 2 gallons of antifreeze. What we're going to do is we're going to put 1 gallon and about 3/4, 2/3 of this gallon in our fresh water tank. And we're saving a little bit, that way we can put it down the drains and the toilet to go into the black and gray tanks to kind of keep them from freezing as well, because we don't want them to crack. We're only making a little bit of a mess. Should have got a bigger funnel. Gosh dang it, man. I totally forgot to mention this before we did any of this. If you have a tankless water heater, I turned it off. So it's been off kind of this whole season, but I turned it off specifically for winterizing the camper. I've heard mixed things about this. I don't think there's water that goes through the hot water, the tankless water heater. I don't know. If you know, please let me know. But yes, I actually turned off the tankless hot water heater. And if you don't know, off is the little open circle, on is the little line. Yeah, it's PSA. So now this is the fun part. We're gonna turn our water pump back on, and then we're gonna circulate the antifreeze throughout our plumbing system. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on both the hot and then the cold on for the kitchen sink, and you just kind of wait for it. Well, it's not good. Let me try a different sink. So I'm a freaking idiot. I had my low lines open still. So I don't know if I just lost all my antifreeze. Hold on one second. We'll see. Okay, so now it's on. Now we're gonna wait for pink to come through here. Once you see some pink, then it's good. That means that your system's full. Got water. And this one takes a little longer because it's the furthest from the tank. I had to go to freaking Walmart again to get more antifreeze. So I either lost some antifreeze when I left my low lines open, or I didn't have enough antifreeze because it wasn't running through the plumbing system. So we're gonna hurry up. We're gonna add some more antifreeze to the tank, and then we're gonna try again to run it through each plumbing fixture, and then hopefully we will be finished. So let's give this another try. All right, we're trying again here. All right. And that's what we want, is some pink coming through the tubes. So you wait till it's kind of consistent, just like that. And you're gonna do that to every plumbing fixture in the camper. The last thing that I like to do is, with every drain, just pour a little bit of antifreeze down the drains. So we can do that with all the sinks and then the toilet as well. That way there's a little bit of antifreeze in the black and the gray tank. I hope that this video was helpful today. If it was helpful, please let me know in the comments. Also, if it wasn't helpful and you think that I'm a total idiot, also let me know in the comments. I would love to hear better ways of doing this. For a simple, small camper like mine, this is pretty easy. I think if you have a more intricate camper with more black tanks, more gray tanks, more plumbing fixtures, that kind of thing, it can be a little bit more difficult and you might want to hire someone to do it. But pretty much, you know, winterizing a camper is all about just getting all the water out of the plumbing system and then filling it with antifreeze. I do have an extra left for next year. I wanted to show you guys this. This is the pressure gauge for blowing out the plumbing system, and I'll show you how to kind of hook that up. So you basically would just hook this connection here to the city water connection, and then you would hook the end there to your air compressor, and you would set this gauge to whatever the recommended pressure is for your system. Thank you guys for watching today. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the channel. There's going to be a bunch more stuff happening. I say this every time on the Keggy Homestead, so stay tuned. Hopefully some cool things will happen this coming spring. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you guys next time here on the Keggy Homestead.